Hello, everybody. This is Debo. Debo's Movie Reviews here, and today I'll be reviewing Gone with the Wind, starring, of course, Clark Gable as Rhett Butler, Vivian Lee as Scarlett O'Hara, Leslie Howard as Ashley Wilkes, Olivia de Havilland as Melody Hamilton Wilkes, Hattie McDaniel as Mammy, Butterfly McQueen as Prissy, Thomas Mitchell as Gerald O'Hara, with Fred Crane and George Reeves as Brett and Stuart Tarleton. In David O. Selznick's production of Margaret Mitchell's Pulitzer Prize winning novel, which Leonard Maltin as referred to as the pinnacle of Hollywood movie making, or it looks better according to this. And of course, what is considered the greatest love story, but though personally I consider it about as one-sided as Lisa's Millhouse, or as Lisa Simpson in Millhouse, Van Houten from The Simpsons. From just basically throughout the whole movie, Scarlett O'Hara obsessed about the one piece of dick she can't get, which is Ashley. Throughout the whole movie, and then once Melody dies, she don't want it no more. She all of a sudden she wants Rhett, and then of course he goes away for a while, and in the book Rhett Butler's people, they eventually reconcile, but which in a which of course the novel Rhett Butler's people is just a same book from his point of view and his adventures, which upon this being a must watch, that I should say is a must read. And of course, with the whole Keaton effect kind of deal with Vivian Lee and Leslie Howard being British in real life, which of course Leslie Howard shortly died after because being 19, well, it was 19 moving in 1939, and then World War II started, and he gave up fame to go to war, dies in the war, and then Vivian Lee continues to make movies until her death in '67. Same with Gable who died in '60, and gotta give it to Olivia de Havilland, who lived 104 years from starring in this movie to becoming friend to her later years when she became friends with Snoop Dogg, of all people. For a right illustrious career. Hell, I'll give it an odd idea of how, despite all the awards it won, Thomas Mitchell, who plays Scarlett Llewellyn Kareen's father, won an award for Stagecoach, which was the movie that launched John Wayne into stardom. And hell, and I gotta say, it was probably one of the better roles of Clark Gable, despite how much he actually hated doing this movie because he kind of thought it was a sappy chick shit. And of course, in terms of casting, in terms of storyline, is from Civil War, how and Scarlett's change for societal norms. Linda Charge, because I gotta say Scarlett O'Hara is about like the heroine and villain of her own story, from her reluctance to conform to societal norms to how she manipulated Frank Kennedy away from her sister. And I mean, oh, she really did so well and dirty. Both books and movie. Given how she basically steals Frank Kennedy, and in the novels, she gets Llewellyn's eventual husband, Will Benteen, who, of course, only exists in the novels. She gets him killed, and then she gets him killed, and later on, and another kind of like a number of differences between the books and the movie was the books being Margaret Mitchell's novel and Doug McKay's Rhett Butler's People, which I consider canon. Now, back to how Scarlett O'Hara tried to change societal norms, from how she went to this benefit for the soldiers that later on, after her first husband dies, and then the other difference between the novel and the movie is how she had a child from each marriage, which of course didn't exist in the movie, and how she changed societal norms, which kind of something for a woman who's a hero and a villain of her own story. I guess kind of gotta admit that for how it's so influential that she inspired a G.I. Joe character, which I'm gonna say the one from Scarlett O'Hara from G.I. Joe I find more empowering than Gone with than this hoe bag from Gone with the Wind who just obsessed about some man and then trying to fight off one and reluctantly hook up just for money. And of course, with perfect castings and all. Hell, I gotta admit another difference in the book was how Frank Kennedy and Ashley Wilkes were in the KKK, and they were in Reconstruction, despite being both Confederate, which of course being Confederate veterans. And there's a scene where before Scarlett steals her away from her sister, there's a party where he's a guest of, where via him she meets Rhett Butler, who of course was the visitor from Charleston, and then a social outcast there, and then Scarlett O'Hara basically becoming an outcast in her own area between Tara and Atlanta, and then from her changed societal norms of how she danced while still in mourning, and then of course her heroism of trying to get back to the life she was accustomed to after the Yankees burned Atlanta, and then try to get Tara back on her own feet following the death of her mom, and how distraught her dad was, became after it and in denial and out of it until his passing after getting taunted by Jonas Wilkerson, who in the beginning was the Tara overseer until he was fired for being a Yankee right before the war started, and then of course became a carpetbagger who harassed the O'Haras out of a grudge, and then of course got her dad got killed trying to run after him, and kind of like another epic scene where Scarlett shoots the Yankee deserter, and of course the whole rebuilding Tara, and then starting that lumber business with Frank Kennedy until she marries Rhett, and then of course she pretty much they pretty much having to maintain it for the kid relationship. Ship until that tragic horse accident, which, of course, the line "just like Pa" did not exist in the novel, but oof. Overall, I gotta give it about a 5 out of 5. I hope y'all like, subscribe, and enjoy, and I'll continue to dish them out.